Hey guys, Liquid here, and welcome back to Let's Answer Some Questions. As always, push questions below, and I shall answer them next week. Let's get started. Red Hood 440 says, Porgs, to which I say, okay then. And Royal Guard says, great video Liquid, to which I say, thank you very much. The James Edition asks, or says, the Yuri thing is a reference to Spider-Man PS4. This is a reference to a comment from the last video. Alright then. I was wondering if you have any plans to start making videos for the Solidus Vlogs channel again. At the moment, I do not have any plans, and I would say that Solidus Vlogs, I would consider that to be on indefinite hiatus. Like, I just don't really have any ideas for it, or any desire to really do anything with it. If I have any, if I do have any, like, small things that I want to upload, I'll probably just do it on this channel, or maybe like even just upload it unlisted, and like maybe like send it to a few people or something. I'm not really sure. But right now I don't really have any plans to do much with it. And I gotta say, I do like, because when I made it, like the idea was that I was gonna be doing like daily vlogs or something like that, and to which I do commend the people that do daily vlogs, while I do not really have any interest in that type of thing in most cases. Because there are actually some vlog channels that I have enjoyed. It is, I gotta say, I do take my hat off to them, because it is very time consuming to be recording and recording and uploading every day like that. And so I give them my props. Reaper94 asks, have you ever tried Japanese food? Also, do you look different since we last saw you on a video? Right, have I tried Japanese food? For the most part, I have not had any Japanese food. And that's probably like one of my biggest gaps of like, because reword this. Other than like, I think the only like thing that you consider Japanese food that I've had is like cup ramen, which is fairly generic. But if you remember, when I was in school, whenever I always noticed that the kids that were in the foreign language classes, they were always eating stuff, like, because, like, the reasoning is that, like, culture, like, language is culture, is directly tied with this language. And, so like the kids in German were always, like, taking home, like, weird German cake and whatnot. And because I've like never actually eaten like Japanese food, there's like so much stuff that, like, there's so many, food is something that, to Japanese people, that's like something that they are, intricately knowledgeable about, and, know the taste of and whatnot. And it will be something that, they might talk to each other about, like, oh man, he has some tempura last night or something like that, like, and that'll be something like, I don't really know what, like I can't really relate, if that makes sense. Like, there are so many words, as someone that is a learner of the Japanese language, there are so many words that I have like in my little encyclopedia in my brain. There's so many words that I just kind of have in my brain as being a type of food, basically. We're not really knowing, I might have like some sort of like basic understanding, like if it's if it's part of a certain animal or some of that, but for the most part, I don't really know what, because I've never had them. I don't really know what they are, if that makes sense. I've never had sushi or sashimi or tempura or mochi or anything like that. And one thing it can be like a recent example I can think of was, it can be sort of, people will often describe things like, because Japanese people are intimately acquainted with like the food that they eat and whatnot, and they know what it looks like and what it tastes like, you know, they will use food as like the basis of like a metaphor or something like that. Like I learned a proverb, or like not really a proverb as much as like an expression, which is like, I think it was geta to yakimiso, which is literally means like a geta are like these shoes, right? I've just quickly brought up on Google. This is miso here, which is like some sort of thing. Like I said, I just know that it's a type of food. I don't know what it looks like. Right? Obviously I know what it looks like now, but right, this here. These here are geta, which are like these shoes here. And then you have a miso. Let's look up yakimiso to get the best. Right, yeah, here you have yakimiso, right? And so this is it's like a proverb, which is like, you know, these shoes and, you know, cooked miso, which basically means like it's supposed to refer to something the things that look similar or seem similar but are actually completely different. And when I first learned that, I was like, how honestly could there be a food that looks like this? Because I never, you know, really, I'm not really acquainted with this miso here. Whereas that's like, to a Japanese person, that's probably something that, you know, would have made more sense. That's kind of a rambling thing, but long story short, I have not had Japanese food, and it's probably like that's like my biggest one of my biggest like gaps or whatever. And also, do you look different since we last saw you on a video? I'm not really sure what the last video I have in which I showed which I was actually showing my face in, but I don't think I don't look any different due to age or anything like that. Like you know, I pretty much look the same in that regard, but maybe hair wise or something. Like right now, I recently actually cut a lot of hair because I was actually, there was a period where up until like a month or so ago, actually my hair was getting kind of neck length again, because like I used to have very long hair, and I was getting back to that point but I did end up buzzing it again, and it's sort of short right now. And also until like a month ago, I had actually had like a full like mustache beard thing going on for quite some time, but about a month or so ago I decided to start shaving the mustache again, just because while I did enjoy the mustache, and like and I think it looked cool. It is something that maybe if I were to like trim it or something like that, like it wouldn't be that bad, but especially with eating, it was quite a bother. There were so many foods like that, you know, that thing, the mustache will get very, very messy, and it's almost unavoidable. Or even things like, especially I think the one thing that comes to my mind is like trying to eat an egg, eating like a runny egg. That will mess up your mustache very bad. But the beard, like the actual chin beard, doesn't really have that problem. Things like drinking water, like I drink my water out of this like really wide mouth canteen type thing, and so it would really, and so like the water would get on the mustache, and like I would almost like need to have like a paper towel near me every time I drink water, just so I could like wipe down, or like drink it with a straw, which I would sometimes do also. Or even just sometimes like eating, and this, like I said, this is probably something that could be avoided just by trimming it and like just not having it be like a super duper long mustache. But like eating something and like taking a bite of something, there would be times where like it's hard to explain really I'm not really sure what exactly was happening, but sometimes like you would bite some of the mustache, like it was this really weird phenomenon, or like it was weird. But right now I just have beard and somewhat short hair, But yeah, that is all the questions for this week. Only 2 actual, or I guess 3 actual questions this week, so not too much, but post questions below, and I will answer them next week, folks. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and until next time, Liquid out.